There's some people who are moving towards the promised land, and some people who are moving further from the promised land, but there isn't anything in between. So, either you are seeking to attack and fight and inherit that promised land, or you end up moving backwards in life. It's like the ocean. Is it possible to be in a raft in the ocean and just sit there and end up in the same spot after a few hours? It's impossible. The tide level, unless you are actively, when you go to the beach. So I start here in front of my hotel room right there, okay? And I fall asleep on the ocean and I find myself all the way over there. Unless I'm actively swimming this way, I'm going to find myself going that way. And the Bible oftentimes compares this world to like a sea or like an ocean because it's unstable. Either we're moving forward or we will backslide. Nothing else in between. So, let us move forward. If you have Bibles, you're going to open your Bible to Joshua and we're going to read some verses from Joshua chapter 1. How does the journey into the promised land begin? What do you think is the first step to entering the promised land? Joshua chapter 1 is one of the best chapters in the Bible. And there's one thing, especially in the first, however many verses, 7, 8, 9 verses. The summary of the first 9 verses of Joshua is the journey to the promised land begins with easy, a promise. The promised land. The journey to the promised land begins with God setting a destination through a promise. And our first lesson that we must understand is that we cannot enter the promised land unless we first have a promise. Logic. Okay, nothing complicated. Go to Joshua chapter 1.